Thanks for joining us for another edition of The Small Business Show with Shyann Malone, exclusively on ASBN.com.
Hi everyone, I'm Shyann Malone. You're watching another edition of The Small Business Show. Establishing milestones in your business can ensure long-term success. And joining us now to share his perspective on this very topic, we have George Deeb. He's an author, Forbes contributor, and managing partner at Red Rocket Ventures. Welcome, George. Glad to have you.
Thanks, Shyann. Nice to be back.
So, George, tell me, why is setting certain milestones important, especially when we're talking startups and really any company?
Well, the reason you need the milestones is the investors that you're going to be reaching out to for venture capital are going to be looking for those milestones. And they're going to want to make sure you hit certain targets before they actually agree to investing money in your business. So it's important for your business, but it's even more important for the investors that are looking to invest in your business.
What type of milestone metrics are we talking about here?
Yeah, to me, there's four different categories of milestones. The first is around the product. You want to have certain milestones hit in terms of your product development. The second is around your team and your employee base and kind of where you are there. The third is around business development. You know, where are you on sales and marketing and kind of revenue traction? And the fourth is around user acquisition and actually proving that there is a growing base of customers that are excited about your product to get, those potential investors excited about it.
And how do those milestones particularly grow over time and change? I'm assuming sometimes fast, sometimes slower.
Yeah, to me, there's kind of three phases in a true startup's growth. Phase number one is taking that piece of paper business plan and turning it into a minimum viable product. Let's say that's the first 6 months. The second phase is taking that minimum viable product and turning it into a full production product that's, ready for prime time. That's kind of the next 6 months. And then the third phase is taking that full production product and moving it towards a proof of concept that there's actually, customers and users that are excited about that product well enough to pay for it and purchase it and kind of build a revenue stream around it. So those are each about 6 month phases across those three segments.
And then once you hit like the first 18 months though, talk about funding and how you expect to run your company financially.
Funding, if the question is, how do you fund those first 18 months before the venture capitalists are ready? I would say, now you're relying on angel investors, you're relying on bootstrap financing techniques wherever you happen to be able to source capital. Maybe it's a mortgage on your house or whatever it is. But for the most part, it's going to be really hard to attract true venture capital until you've got to that proof of concept point that the investors are looking for that will get them to cut that check for you.
And have you been in situations where, certain companies have set their milestones and as they progress, obviously sometimes they will change. Are you adding more throughout this time period as well?
The milestones, the target will change as the business scales, right? So, I think you still have those four key categories of milestones: the product, the team, the business development, and the user acquisition. But the bogey that you're shooting for in each one of those phases is getting bigger and more advanced and more complex the bigger the business gets. So that's really the big picture on how these are changing over time.
What do you want people who are watching to take away from this segment?
Well, I would say, I would not overinvest out of the gate. You want to make sure that your, a minimum viable product is exactly that. You need some bare basic functionality that'll get people excited about your business. Don't invest in a Rolls Royce, right? You don't need all the bells and whistles. You're perfectly fine building a Toyota to get the job done at a much lower cost, and more importantly, at a faster pace of development, right? You want to get your product into market as fast as you possibly can, so you're not letting somebody else get in that market before you.
Any other final words of wisdom?
No, I would just again, I would reiterate, don't go overboard when you're building something, right? Minimum viable product is exactly that. Bare bones functionality that you can get something in the market as fast as humanly possible, so that you can always improve it over time. But what you don't want to lose is that first mover advantage. Be the first one in the market, get those early adopters, build up your customer brand before somebody else does.
All right, thanks so much for your insight on everything. George Deeb, author, Forbes contributor and managing partner at Red Rocket Ventures. Thanks so much for watching, all of you, the Small Business Show, exclusively right here on ASBN.com and now streaming on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Thanks for joining us for another edition of The Small Business Show with Shyann Malone, exclusively on ASBN.com.